How many times must the shepherd come searching for the one lost sheep? There once was a shepherd who had a flock of sheep. He took them out to graze. Amongst them he had a sheep whose coat was as dark as the night. As the shepherd sat under a tree, he heard his sheep call. In the distance he seen a pack of wolves. The shepherd stood in the midst of his sheep, raised his staff, and yells. The wolves, looking at the shepherd, now begin to run away. The shepherd begins to count his flock. 99 of his sheep are there. His most beloved sheep is missing. The shepherd now takes his 99 sheep and goes back home. He goes to his neighbor's house and says, "Watch over my flock. I am going to find the one that is lost." The shepherd climbs every mountain, goes down every valley, walks beside every stream and river. No sign of the one lost sheep. He goes into a town, and the people in the town say, "Are you not the shepherd? Are you not the shepherd who calls his sheep and the sheep come running, hearing his voice?" He says, "Yes, I am. But the one that is lost hears me but does not return." Disheartened, the shepherd goes back home. The next day he takes the 99 sheep and goes by the banks of the river. He calls for the one lost sheep. Days become weeks, weeks become months. This sheep does not return. And one day he calls, and he hears the sheep on the opposite side of the river. He tells the sheep, "Jump into the river. I will meet you halfway." But the sheep is too afraid. Now behind the sheep, the wolves approach. The sheep does not know what to do. So the shepherd says, "Jump. I will meet you halfway and I will save you." The sheep jumps into the raging river, but the currents are too strong. They begin to sweep the sheep away. The shepherd jumps into the water, swims to the sheep, latches onto it, and pulls it to safety. When they reach the rest of the flock, the shepherd is surprised to see that this sheep that was black has now become white. The river washed it clean, and that is the journey to repentance. Joy, sorrow, suffering, pain, trials, temptation. These are like seasons. One follows the other, never stopping, ever changing. Just as leaves fall from the branches, so do we step from one failure, one mistake, one temptation to another. God does not always call on the qualified. He qualifies the unqualified. Because even before the sun cast its first rays of light, even before the stars sparkled across the night sky, even before the rain filled the oceans and the breeze set the sail, God loved you, God cares for you. There is redemption in repentance. God is the shield, the rock, and He is the liberator. All we must do is have faith and trust in Him, and we shall be free.